We are here, they say.
Could you tell me who you are?
We have been watching. We've been waiting. Who are we?
What is the name of your race? Are you the Mantis Race that we would call you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Me. I am Kura.
Kura. It's lovely to meet you, Kura. Could you tell me something about yourself?
I have been observing this one for many Earth years.
Why have you been observing her?
We have a connection. She has seen us in her visions many years ago. We connect in her sleep time.
Could you share more about your connection?
We have been telling her, waiting to speak.
What has stopped you from speaking that you have had to wait?
We were waiting for this time and for the freedom from the entities to allow her energy to expand.
That's wonderful to know. Feel free now that you can speak to us to share anything you wish.
She will feel so much expansion in her body, in her auric fields, in her heart chakra, in this whole, in her light body. This moment has been awaited. Thank you, dear one.
I would like to know more. Now that Jasmine can hear you and will be able to refer back to this moment, please start telling her everything that you wish for her to know. This is that moment.
We have been speaking in her mind in another language, but she resists, has been resisting. She must allow it to flow. It is called by some light language, but she must allow more. Now that this area has been freed, it will be able to be. She will be able to trust her connection. It is like a sigh of relief from one perspective of connection, becoming the multidimensional self in all aspects, divinity, 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 divinity.
May I ask you, how is Jasmine connected to the Mantis race? Help her to remember.
She has been one of us. In her, she is one of us. For all exists in no time, no space, the multidimensional aspect of one.
Here in the human body, we're in the process of trying to shed what remains of that veil that's preventing us from having the open communication. And I would love for Jasmine to have the gift of knowing all about who she is, because it is very hard to access it even without the entities at this point. So could you tell her more about herself as one of you?
She has been and is, for there is no time differentiation from all that is. So, as you both are aware,
Yes.
she has been of the mother nurture perspective, body from our physical, in our physical dimension, she has been a mother queen energy, as you will. Yes.
Tell us more about the role of being a mother queen.
To oversee growth. We are aware of the connection of the words will take a bit of time to connect for her resistance
Yes.
of what is appropriate or what is acceptable and what is an insect. But as you both know, we are all one and one is all. And of course, there are many other aspects as we have been, as from a human perspective, all different races. And she can connect into this part of herself, which is, yes, Kura is her, is me, is that aspect that she has been.
Ah, so you, Cora, and Jasmine are one and the same?
Aspects, yes.
And are both aspects? Obviously, you're both living concurrently right now in different dimensions.
Yes, so we are over, I can come from the future. I am coming from the future to observe and to connect and to remind in this aspect of me, which is Jasmine, to connect more fully to all dimensions of her being. As she was reminded yesterday, so timely, that all dimensions can be a petal. If we look at a flower with 12 petals, from 12th density to first density, we can attune to each of those petals at once or singly. It isn't easy from the 3D, 4D to attune to all because of the physical vessel, as you know. But we are one of the multidimensional aspects of Jasmine, looking down at her and at others, of course, as we observe this transformation on your planet.
The transformation, from your perspective, we would love to know, as you observe us, what are you thinking and feeling about how we're doing, about what you see happening with us in the near future?
The light ones are shifting and integrating so beautifully, so much, so perfectly. And there will be, this is building a momentum for others to follow on deeper levels than what is seen in the 3D perspective. It will shift and it will the momentum is building, as it were, and will all of a sudden tumble and shift and move, and it will be beautiful from our perspective.
Thank you. That's very good to know. When you said, so it sounds to me like you see this happening very quickly and in a type of event, or is it a very slow process from the human perspective? How should we view that?
The tipping point is so, so close. But as we know, time can be slower or faster in one day, in 1 hour, because we can slow and speed up time. We, as in any being, really, from a higher perspective. So what one might say is 1 day might feel like 1 year, but from the physical linear time, the time is nigh, is very close.
It does feel that way. I agree with you. It feels so close. Now that Jasmine is able to speak with you, I would like to know, you're watching over her. Are you acting as her primary guide? Are you the one that's by her side all the time?
Well, one of them, yes, but yes, a primary one. Yes.
Please share more with Jasmine, all these things you've been wanting to tell her.
Yes, she knows her purpose has been most recently to bring in the light, to stabilize the light, to become light, to activate all her cells. And there is a high vibrational vortex on the property, and just being her and being with her partner and her creation that they are attuning to is serving the purpose, serving her higher purpose. Or just, yes, yes, it is wonderful.
Tell us more about her role as a healer.
She is stepping into her role as a healer, refining. She has been refining and focusing. And now that this freedom of the throat, heart, energy center has been taken such a huge step, and she is allowed to, allowed herself, had come to this point to express and experience all these parts of herself. She will be able to facilitate and assist others as she so dearly wishes to do. And she knows this is what she came to do, and the time is now. Yes, but not to put pressure, just to go with, follow the intuition, allow, and it will come to you. Manifestation is here in such a different way, is able to be accessed in such a different way. Sitting in meditation for some short period of time and asking for us, you have my name now, Kura. Kura, call on me and all the other archangels and whoever is Jasmine's chosen connection at that time that she intuitively knows, the fairy realm, the unicorns, the magic, the dragonflies. Yes, bring these in. Know that you will be performing your divine purpose. Yes.
Thank you. That is absolutely beautiful. I can feel your energy where I am, and your energy is so lovely. It has such a beautiful healing vibration to it. So, your advice also is the same. And I think it is important to take that time to go into meditation. Please tell us more about, give us more advice as we're still in this dense form, still operating primarily in a third dimensional society. What else can we do to help others and to speed along this shift in consciousness? What can Jasmine do, or any of us?
Be compassion, be of the heart. Once you, and the more you tune into the enormity of every moment, and expand your dimensional field and view all the possibilities. Honing that skill allows such an expansion into multidimensional realities from the 3D, 4D, 5D, and up. See that potential in every moment. Stop and realize that in this instance, right now, all of that is there, all the dimensions, all the experiences. It is about taking those moments and just realizing that. So once one becomes an expression of that, you can shift for others as well, because you walk along with this multidimensional bubble of energy and expand it out, and it will affect others and affect the planet Gaia, and transmute other energies around and expand, because yes, it is here in so many ways, this multidimensional reality, and the shift is here. So it is perception. Does that answer?
Yes, it definitely does. This is a somewhat confusing time for all of us here that have come to the planet to do this work. As we look ahead on the timeline, as all time is now, I agree. Can you tell us what 5D Earth is going to be like? What will it be like for Jasmine, her life there?
A sense of a deepened sense of knowing, of creational power, of creational freedom, of heart connection, of beautiful sparkles in the atmosphere, of seeing all aspects of others. And on a physical,
Yes.
if one walks in trust, one will be free. She will, as she has experienced already in this year, by manifesting this flow of travel to visit her family with with freedom within that experience. So that will be experienced everywhere, are ones that are connected to their multidimensional self. So it remains to be solidified, as it were, because it must be created, or there are so many timelines.
We've been told previously by others that there are many, many variations of the 5D, many timelines.
Yes.
Yes. Could you share what you know about that concept with us?
Yes. Each will experience their chosen 5D timeline that they have chosen before this incarnation, as it were. But there are options still. So some will go to other physical planets, but they may appear to disappear, as it were, this visual representation.
And
Others will move, well, it will appear
I
to
know what you're
laugh.
saying. No, because it is so hard to find words, isn't it, for these
Yes.
concepts? Well,
Especially to ones who
yes.
see all aspects.
Mm-hmm. And we know that in our natural state, we see these aspects too. And we do struggle while we're still kind of trying to get rid of the last bit of that amnesia that's in the way, such as when you've been trying to talk to Jasmine. So some of our questions may seem a bit elementary, but but on these timelines, the people left behind when those people that go to such a high place, will they be aware that their loved ones have gone, or will it be something that won't be perceptible to them?
They will, they will, those who have are on the 5D, as it were, will not feel any loss, any grief, because it is, they are back to source, knowing that the source, the knowing that this is all each spark of divinity's journey, as it were. And
Mm-hmm.
those that choose not to shift, that is their shift, their journey. They, so those ones, they will not be that sense of grief, as it were. They will see that is not that is not an emotion that will be experienced in that place.
Thank you.
For those that haven't transmuted and expanded between that time, there will be a limbo period of transition, as it were.
Very
Yes.
good. And as you were saying, these timelines were chosen prior to the incarnation. What did Jasmine choose so that she can understand that?
She chose, and she is aware of certain landmarks in her life of awakening. And the most recent was at this time last year, March. And she knew, and her knowing has come, and more coming is, knowing is coming into her perception. She chose to be here to be a energy transmuter for this time. And what was your question?
I would like to know more about. I am familiar with your race, that you are healers. What can you tell me more about your planet, or where you call home? I'm sure Jasmine would like to know that.
We have we we have a nest, this correlation with the snake nest. The nest on a planet, the nest of the nurturer concept was working. The home planet, we do not communicate in the verbal manner. The telepathy and the telepathy is the main way of communicating. We work with many races. Our planet is very old, from very distant, very different from this planet, Gaia. It is almost could be perceived as etheric.
So, are these nests that you mentioned, are they like small communities?
Yes. Small communities where we teach, where we cultivate skills and knowledge for our younger ones. Small communities.
And you've been able to maintain peace on your planet. How have you managed to do that?
respect for all life, the telepathic understanding comes from the heart. So when one respects all life and comes from the heart and works together, peace is an outflowing of that. We'll be able to connect more and learn more as she integrates my energy more into her being.
Will she be able to do that now that the entities have been removed?
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Intention. Yes.
Thank you. Your race, I'm aware, has been quite active along with other races in the liberation of Earth. Could you tell us more about the role that the Mantis race is playing in our ascension?
We send our energy fields, we send our intention, energy, focus to certain areas at this point. We are speaking of this moment. In the past, there has been collaboration, but at this point, collaboration with other races to assist in the liberation, as you mentioned. At this point, we are focusing on areas to raise the vibration more specifically. And if we do find discordant energy, we will transmute and send it to its home, should I say.
So, the discordant energy, which is quite prevalent right now on Earth, this great division, I'm sure you're all very active, I would imagine, right now with the planet at this time.
Yes.
Thank you. One of the things we were wondering about is Jasmine's location in New Zealand. There's great turbulence and division at this time. What advice can you give her about the situation? How to navigate it and what the outcome looks like?
There are various physical timelines still to play out. However, there is much focus on this area by many light beings, by many light workers, for it is an area where there is much purity of energy, which has been held back by the dark ones, but once liberated, it will be such an upliftment, and this will be experienced sooner in your physical. Those that have chosen to incarnate in this area at this time have had such a strong two things. She has chosen to incarnate here for this time, for her deep connection with the past, with the energetics of this location. Many people have come to this area to be here at this time for its role in the ascension. It being an island nation has so much potentiality for transformation. So to keep focus on that highest timeline experience of transformation is so important, and it is happening.
So, moving on, I have a question. of something I sensed when I began speaking to Jasmine. And you could please correct me if I'm wrong. I sensed that Jasmine, as many of us, her higher self feels to be pretty well integrated into the aspect of herself that is here on earth. Is this correct? Has she integrated much of her higher self already into this physical form?
Yes, she has.
Very good.
Why there is the division with that, not division, that intensity of being, being focused on her inner world. That is the integration. It is still a challenge to be in the 3D.
I was wondering if you could answer a question for me. I think you'd be the best person to ask this. She
Certainly.
had a session previously with another practitioner where she visualized tall beings in a silver suit with large eyes, and the word Zeta came to her mind. Could you give her clarification on this? If you could look back at that session and view that experience.
Yes, this is another of her tribe, as it were. She will laugh. She is not of this world in only one piece, which is the physical fairy connection to the land, but many others races.
So this is yet another aspect, is living as this being that she saw.
Yes.
Thank you. She was a bit confused when the word Zeta came to her mind. Is this the correct Earth terminology for this race?
Yes, Zeta Reticuli.
That has had, there has been, I don't know if it's misinformation or the perception of this race here on Earth. It caused her to really question this. Could you tell us more about this particular race that she saw? Are they a benevolent race?
There are benevolent beings, yes, as you are aware, in every race, and this being has chosen the light path and has allowed her, she has connected very strongly with this being in more recent years. Not that recent, 20 years maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why her passion for all things sci-fi, in her words, alt, ET, whatever, have been so fascinating for her. This Zeta Reticuli has a very important role in very different energetics from the Kura, very different, very
Mm-hmm.
focused, masculine beam of purpose, not the nurturing maternal energy of focus of getting things done.
I would imagine that's giving her balance. Is this correct?
Yes.
Very good. Does Jasmine have many aspects, many fractals, or are these the only two that are in play at the moment, aside from her as Jasmine, you and the Zeta?
There are others. There is the fairy realm.
Yes, the fairy realm.
She connected very strongly with as a child and has carried all her physical life. That has given her her sense of joy, of fun, of upliftment, of playfulness, of tuning into the nature. The dragonflies, she sees dragonflies on her property, huge ones. Dragon, for you, your info. The dragonflies, the birds, the other elementals.
So
Yes.
this fairy realm is a realm that exists on Earth. I know there are many. Okay.
Yes, this very realm on Earth.
Many of us as practitioners right now are coming together and finding so many synchronicities and connections by working with each other in this way. Do Jasmine and I have a connection? Have we done this work together before at other times? There are many of us that are finding this.
Yes, yes. You have all been on a council or many councils together. You are finding your networking, your strength in this circle.
Yes, the circle. That's what we were told by the Arcturians. Thank you. The circle. So she has connections with many of the new friends that she's made through this work. Is this correct?
Yes.
That's lovely. She'll be happy to know that. What other information would you like to share with her today? She can hear you perfectly.
Her wings. She connected with her wings some recent time ago when called to release entities on a friend's property. Prior to this, she did not acknowledge entities, as she will tell you however we will tell you. And she was called by two acquaintances who are aligned on a higher level as well as galactically. And she went to this property and she said to the person, who also has wings but is very clipped because for various reasons, put on your wings, imagine your wings. And she went upon to do this clearing work, which was totally foreign, but she stepped into her power without fear. This is something that she will feel is learning from you, Bella. This
from me.
more about this since that time. Yes, the strength of knowingness, shall I say, and to trust it and to know that this is the time that you chose to be embodied in. This is the moment.
Yes.
So put on your wings. Fly.
In these days that are leading up, I've always called it the split or the event. We all have different roles to play on that. I call it on the day. That may not just be a day, but when that time comes, when that moment arrives, that whether it's a flash of light, however you perceive that, what will Jasmine's role be at that very moment? What will be her job? I've learned mine. I'd love her to know what her job will be, because there will be people that are frightened, and I'm sure there will be chaos. What is her role on that time?
She has perceived in two ways. One, to lie on the grass and surrender and be a role model of surrender.
Do you see a flash of light that so many have seen, the solar flash, and that moment everything changes?
I see it more and more as a truth. She has chosen to be free. She has been preparing for this letting go of trauma, of emotional grief, and this is allowing others in the collective to experience it in this way, as you and her. Yes, it will be freeing, liberating, and joyful once you can allow.
Please share any more information or messages, whatever else you'd like to say to Jasmine today. while we have our attention just on you?
She is in the perfect place at the perfect time. It will all unfold, is my message.